Good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it is where you are. Peace, joy, love, and truth. That's what I like to be, a speaker of peace, love, joy, and truth. Wonderful, wonderful sayings. Um, I'm going to make this video um, in response to a comment that I received. And I'm not here to argue with anybody. Arguing, I'm not a fighter. I'll leave that to the warriors. I am really feminine in that way. There are some feminine warriors out there. There are some women that are great at it. I happen to have a few in my circle, and they are feminine, and yet they're warriors. I'm just the love, love, joy, 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 peace, 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 and truth person. Anywho, my take on why we should be utilizing our energy in ways that's going to benefit us all is because when we take a look at the truth, very important to take a look at the truth. There are ways to resolve any problem. And one of the things that I feel as spiritual beings having a human experience should be doing is we need to name, and we need to name who they are. They out to get you. They are doing, and we have to name specifically who they are, because you can't say they is all the police. We know that's a lie. You can't say they to racism is all white people, because that's a lie. You can't say they to all the problems in the world today is the government. You're not going to be able to do that, because there are good people in the government. True, they may not be on they may not have your number one interest. Okay, let's say, for instance, it's a white politician. A white politician is not going to fight for your justice as a black person stronger than you do. You understand what I'm saying? There are black politicians that are working against black people as well. So we can't blame it all on the government, the police. It's not they. They are not the totality of everything. We have to figure out who they are in the government, in the police, and you know what I'm saying, in the white race. Figure out who's the good and who's the bad. And sometimes you can do that by listening to Young Pharaoh, because Young Pharaoh does an excellent job of breaking it down. And I'm going to tell you that I've never heard anyone do such a job as identifying the deep state as the they better than he has. Because it's a lot of people that are actually black people that are working against you. This is just a fact. So you have to be very aware of your consciousness and information that you put out there. If you put an obstacle in the way, the biggest obstacle in life is the way that you think, is the energy that you put out. So all I'm suggesting is that we find creative ways to utilize our energy in an agenda that will work for the greater good. You understand? And we can do that. The number one way to start is to be very careful of what energy you have around you. People, music, news. If you're watching a lot of mainstream news media, you are being fed an energy that's going to propel the same fire, yet in a chaotic way. And that chaos is going to bring about how can I say, an order that may be defined as the New World Order. And believe me when I tell you, we do not want the New World Order coming in and making decisions for us. They're already doing it on some sly. they're trying to infiltrate. It's levels to this. It's levels to this. And we have to be smart about the decisions that we're making in this atmosphere, in this very powerful time to be alive, a very beautiful and powerful time to be alive. And I'm telling you, your energy is real. Your energy is real. Your energy is powerful. Your energy is changing lives. So take that energy and utilize it for your greater good, because we are very smart, we are very intelligent, and I know that we can come up with, but you have to know the truth first. You have to be open for it, and you have to know the truth. If you want to change this world for the greater good, you have a part to play in it, and you have to be the change that you expect in the world. And chaos is not what we want in the world. So, and I don't like the words I can't, like I don't want to be so comfortable using that word that I pass that word on to the next generation. And no, where there's a will, there's a way. And if you say that that we can't, and that's the only way we can do it, then you're in the box. You're in the box. Let's step outside of the box. Let's say that there's no limitation, not even to the sky. And let's break the barriers that we're putting on ourselves with the words that we use. That's an energy. And when you use words like I am, I will, I can, you have just shifted the possibilities. And the possibilities are endless. So, on that note, that's what I wanted to put out for everyone that hears this. And if you are listening to this, I'm speaking to you. There is greatness in you. You're a very powerful being. You're a very powerful spiritual being having a human experience. And you have purpose in this world. And your purpose may be greater than you have ever imagined. I'm saying start with your joy. Be open to the truth, and don't hold back anything. Let's not feed the fire. Let's not add more rage and more chaos to the manipulators. Let's do our part. Let's read between the lines and see what's really going on in the world. And this is not to say anything about white people wanting justice for all races. You have to really think, if a white person is fighting harder than you are against racism, and they're just as angry as you, they're more angry than you are against racism, I have to question that. I have to question that, because there's no way that you can fully understand what I have experienced. And I'm going to give you an example. I remember one time I was talking to a coworker who happens to be white, and he said, I don't understand why, people are acting like racism still exists in the world. And this was maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. And I said that you would not understand it because you are white. I can give you an example because it has happened to me. Let's say you're going to look for an apartment. You call them up, you say, I'll be there in 20 minutes. And as soon as you show up, the apartment is no longer available. And when you leave and you call, the apartment is still available. Do you realize that has happened to me on more than 1, 2, and 3 occasions? I said, but it would not have happened to you because as soon as you showed up, the apartment would have still been available. And he had an aha moment because he never lived life through that perspective. And yet he knew it, yet he never experienced it. So how can you be madder than me? You understand? A few minutes ago, you never even knew that it existed. So how now can you be more upset and more angry and more hurt by racism than me? I'm saying all of that to say, not that white people don't want the same justices for us. I'm just saying to you, if a white person is more angry and more hurt and upset by racism than you are, and they're fighting for it, I have to question that energy, that rage and fight that's causing the looting and the fires now. That type of fight. I'm not talking about the fight for justice in an organized way. I'm talking about the chaotic anger and rage for the injustice that's going on. That's a hidden agenda, and I say see it for what it is. Don't excuse it. See it for what it is, and that's my point. Love, love, love. Joy, joy, joy. True, true, true. Take it for whatever you will. Love ya. Peace and deuces. I'm out, I'm out, I'm out.